Sergio Oliva grins at Arnold backstage and says, "I brought genetics." What did you bring? What happens in the next 8 minutes doesn't touch a single weight. But it wins the psychological battle before the lights even turn on. Pretoria, South Africa, September 1975. Saturday evening, 7:52 p.m. Mr. Olympia backstage. The pump room. This isn't a gym. This is a war zone. A psychological battlefield where champions are made or broken before they ever step under the lights. The room smells like sweat, liniment oil, and adrenaline. The sound of dumbbells clanking, heavy breathing, men grunting through final sets, trying to force one last bit of blood into already swollen muscles. 20 bodybuilders, the best in the world, all crammed into a space built for 10. Everyone pumping. Everyone flexing. Everyone trying to look bigger than they actually are. Trying to intimidate. Trying to dominate. Trying to plant seeds of doubt in their competitors' minds. The walls are concrete. Painted white, but stained with years of chalk handprints and sweat marks. Fluorescent lights overhead cast harsh shadows. A few full-length mirrors against one wall. Bodybuilders crowd around them, checking their physiques, adjusting their trunks, practicing poses. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. In one corner, Franco Columbu is doing dumbbell presses. 80 pounds in each hand. Moving fast. Pump, pump, pump. His face is red. Veins popping. He's trying to fill out his chest one last time before stage call. In another corner, Lou Ferrigno is doing cable flies. His chest already looks like armor plating. But he keeps going. More reps, more blood, more size. Ed Corney is stretching. He's older, smarter. He knows pump is temporary. He's focusing on staying loose, keeping his muscles ready to flow through poses instead of locking up from overpumping. And then there's Sergio Oliva, the myth, standing in the center of the room. Not pumping, not flexing, just standing. 6 feet 0 inches, 240 pounds of perfect muscle. Arms that look like they were carved from marble. A waist so small it seems impossible. Shoulders so wide they barely fit through doorways. Genetics that no one else in bodybuilding history has ever matched. He's wearing black posing trunks and nothing else. His skin is dark, oiled, glowing under the fluorescent lights. Every muscle visible even at rest. He doesn't need to pump. His body looks stage-ready, just standing there. Sergio knows this. Everyone knows this. That's why he's just standing, letting everyone else panic and pump while he radiates calm confidence. Intimidation through stillness. At 7:52 p.m., the door opens. Arnold Schwarzenegger walks in. 6 feet 2 inches, 235 pounds. Wearing a simple gray tracksuit. Zipped up. Carrying a small gym bag. His hair is perfectly styled. His face is calm. No tension. No stress. Just present. The room doesn't go silent. People keep pumping. But everyone notices. Eyes flick toward Arnold. Then away. Then back again. Arnold walks to an empty spot near the mirrors. Not the center. Not hiding in a corner. Just a neutral spot. He sets down his bag. Unzips his tracksuit. Underneath, he's wearing his posing trunks. His physique is off. Not bad. Not soft. Just not pumped. His muscles look flat compared to everyone else who's been pumping for 20 minutes. His chest doesn't have that balloon fullness. His arms don't have that gorged with blood look. He looks like he just walked in from the street. A few competitors glance over. Exchange looks. Small smirks. Arnold looks unprepared. Looks like he's not taking this seriously. Franco sees Arnold. Stops his set. Walks over. Arnold, you're late. Everyone's been pumping for 30 minutes. Arnold smiles slightly. I know. Franco lowers his voice. Concerned. You need to pump. You look flat. Stage call is in 10 minutes. Arnold touches Franco's shoulder. I'm exactly where I need to be. Franco doesn't understand, but he trusts Arnold. Nods. Goes back to his dumbbells. Arnold doesn't reach for weights. Instead, He stands in front of the mirror. Not close. About 6 feet back. Just stands there, looking at himself. Not flexing. Not practicing poses. Just observing. His breathing is slow, deep, controlled. He closes his eyes for a moment. 10 seconds. 20. When he opens them, his expression hasn't changed. Still calm. Still centered. Across the room, Sergio Oliva has been watching this entire time. He's been watching Arnold since he walked in. Watched him set down his bag. Watched him not pump. Watched him just stand there like he's meditating. Sergio walks over. His footsteps deliberate. Heavy. Announcing his presence. He stops next to Arnold. Closer than necessary. Invading space. A power move. Arnold sees him in the mirror. Doesn't turn. Just meets Sergio's eyes in the reflection. Sergio speaks. His voice is deep. Confident. Loud enough for others to hear. You look relaxed. Arnold nods slightly. I am. Sergio smiles. But it's not friendly. It's the smile of a predator who just spotted wounded prey. That's interesting. Most men, this close to stepping on stage against me, they panic. They pump until their muscles are ready to burst. They flex in the mirror trying to convince themselves they have a chance. Pauses. Lets that sink in. But you just stand there. Like you're waiting for a bus. Arnold still doesn't turn. Just keeps looking at Sergio in the mirror. Panicking doesn't make you bigger. It just makes you tired. Sergio's smile widens. He's enjoying this. He steps closer. Now shoulder to shoulder with Arnold. Both of them looking at their reflections side by side. And the size difference is visible. Sergio's arms are bigger. His shoulders are wider. His back is thicker. In a direct side-by-side comparison, Sergio looks more impressive. Sergio knows this. He positioned himself for exactly this reason. Look at us, Sergio says. Gestures at the mirror. What do you see? Arnold looks. Doesn't respond immediately. Just observes. I see 2 bodybuilders preparing for a competition. Sergio laughs. Loud. Genuine. The laugh of someone who just heard a joke. That's generous. I see something different. I see genetics versus work ethic. I see what God gave me versus what you built in a gym. He flexes his arms. Not a formal pose. Just a casual flex. His biceps explode into peaks. 22 inches of muscle. Arms that look photoshopped. This, Sergio says, this is genetics. I don't work for this. I was born with this. I could take 6 months off, come back, and still look like this. He relaxes. Looks at Arnold's reflection. You work. Every day? Perfect diet. Perfect training. Perfect discipline. And you built an impressive physique. Really. Impressive. Pauses. But you can't build genetics. You brought work ethic to a genetic battle. That's your problem. The room has gotten quieter. Other bodybuilders are listening now. Some have stopped pumping. This is the moment everyone was waiting for. The confrontation. The psychological warfare. The myth versus the yoke. Arnold still hasn't moved. Still just standing. His expression hasn't changed. Sergio continues. I brought genetics. What did you bring? The question hangs in the air. Arnold finally turns. Looks directly at Sergio. Not in the mirror anymore. Face to face. And Arnold does something unexpected. He smiles. Genuine. Warm. Like Sergio just said something amusing instead of insulting. You're right, Arnold says. Your genetics are better than mine. Sergio's eyebrows raise. He wasn't expecting agreement. Arnold continues. His voice calm. Matter of fact. Your arm structure is superior. Your insertions are better. Your muscle bellies are longer. Your waist is smaller. Your shoulders are wider. Pound for pound, genetically, you have advantages I'll never have. Sergio is confused now. This isn't how psychological warfare works. Arnold should be defensive, angry, trying to prove Sergio wrong. Instead, he's agreeing. Arnold takes a small step back, creates space, not retreating, just making room. You asked what I brought. I brought something different. He gestures around the room, at all the bodybuilders pumping frantically. Everyone here brought something. Franco brought density. Lou brought size. Ed brought elegance. You brought genetics. Looks back at Sergio. I brought calm. Sergio laughs again. But this time it sounds less confident. Calm? That's what you brought? Calm doesn't win competitions. Arnold nods slightly. You're right. Calm doesn't win. But panic loses. And right now, everyone in this room except me is panicking. Arnold gestures at Franco doing another set. At Lou pumping desperately. At competitors flexing in the mirror, trying to convince themselves they look big enough. Look at them. They're scared. They're pumping because they're afraid they're not ready. They're flexing because they need reassurance. They're trying to force their bodies to be something they're not. Looks back at Sergio. You're doing the same thing. Different method, but same panic. You're standing here trying to intimidate me because you're afraid I might beat you. You're telling me about your genetics because you need to convince yourself they're enough. Sergio's face changes. The smile fades slightly. Arnold continues. His voice gentle. Not attacking. Just observing. If you were truly confident, you wouldn't be standing here talking to me. You'd be in your corner, focused on your own preparation. But instead, you walked over here. You initiated this conversation. You're trying to plant doubt in my mind. Pauses. Which means I've already planted doubt in yours. The room is completely silent now. Everyone has stopped. Everyone is listening. Watching. Sergio's jaw tightens. His hands clench. For a moment, it looks like he might explode. Might yell. Might make a scene. But then Arnold does something that changes everything. He extends his hand. You're going to look incredible on stage tonight, Sergio. This will be a great battle. May the best man win. Sergio stares at Arnold's hand. Then at Arnold's face. Looking for mockery. For sarcasm. For any sign that this is a trick. But Arnold's expression is genuine. Respectful. The handshake isn't psychological warfare. It's honest acknowledgement. Sergio doesn't know what to do. He came over here to intimidate. To dominate. To plant seeds of doubt. And somehow, in the last 3 minutes, Arnold turned it around completely. Slowly, Sergio reaches out. Shakes Arnold's hand. Yeah, Sergio says. His voice quieter now. Less confident. Good luck. Arnold nods. Releases the handshake. Turns back to the mirror. Back to his calm observation of himself. Sergio stands there for a moment. Not sure what just happened. Then walks back to his corner. But something has changed. His body language is different. Less dominant. Less certain. He starts stretching. Then stops. Looks in the mirror. Adjusts his posing trunks. Then adjusts them again. He's fidgeting. For the first time all night, the myth looks nervous. Meanwhile, Arnold hasn't moved. Still just standing in front of the mirror. Breathing. Observing. Calm. Franco comes back over. Arnold. 5 minutes. You need to pump. Arnold shakes his head slightly. No pump. Franco is incredulous. What? You can't go on stage cold. You'll look flat next to Sergio. Arnold turns to Franco. Puts a hand on his shoulder. Franco. Trust me. Pump is temporary. What I have is permanent. If I pump now, I'll look big for 5 minutes. Then start deflating under the lights. Better to go on stage exactly as I am. My real size. My real density. Franco wants to argue. But he sees something in Arnold's eyes. Total confidence. Unshakable certainty. Franco nods. Steps back. Arnold returns to the mirror. But now he does something different. He starts moving through poses. Not practicing. Not rehearsing. Just flowing. Each pose held for 2 seconds. Then transition. Smooth. Controlled. Like a choreographed dance. The poses aren't forced. Aren't strained. His muscles aren't gorged with blood. But the lines are clean. The proportions are perfect. The presentation is artistic. Other competitors are watching now. Really watching. Because what Arnold is doing looks different from what they're doing. They're forcing. He's flowing. They're trying. He's being. Ed Corney nods approvingly. He understands. He's been doing this long enough to know that sometimes less is more. At 8 p.m., The stage manager opens the door. Gentlemen, line up. Stage call in 2 minutes. The energy in the room shifts immediately. This is it. Time to compete. Everyone does final checks. Last second flexes. Quick pumps. Nervous energy everywhere. Except from Arnold. He zips up his tracksuit over his posing trunks. Picks up his bag. Walks toward the door. Calm. Steady. Like he's walking into a business meeting. Not the most important bodybuilding competition of his life. As he passes Sergio, he stops, looks at him, and says something only Sergio can hear. You look incredible tonight. This will be a great battle. Same words as before. But this time, the context is different. They're about to step on stage. The psychological game is over. This is pure, genuine respect. Sergio looks at Arnold. And for just a moment, the intimidation game drops. Two competitors acknowledging each other. You too, Sergio says quietly. Arnold nods. Walks out the door. On stage, under the lights, the battle is legendary. Arnold and Sergio trade poses. Both looking incredible. Both pushing each other to perfection. The judges take an hour to decide. The audience is split. When the decision comes, Arnold wins. By the smallest margin in Mr. Olympia history. 1 point difference. But the real victory didn't happen on stage. It happened 8 minutes earlier. In the pump room. When Arnold refused to panic. Refused to pump. Refused to play Sergio's psychological game. Instead, he played his own game. A game of calm. Of certainty. Of confidence so deep it didn't need to prove itself. Sergio brought genetics. Arnold brought psychology. And in that pump room, in those 8 minutes, Arnold proved something important. The battle happens before the battle. The mind wins before the body competes. Calm beats panic. Every single time. Years later, Sergio would say in an interview, Arnold beat me twice that night. Once backstage, once on stage. The first one hurt more. Because I knew 30 seconds into our conversation that I'd already lost. He got in my head. And once you're in your own head, questioning yourself, you've already lost. Arnold rarely talks about that night. When asked, he says only this. Bodybuilding is 50% physical, 50% mental. But the mental 50% determines which physical 50% shows up. If you're panicking, you bring your worst body. If you're calm, you bring your best body. Sergio had better genetics. But I had better psychology. On that night, psychology won. The lesson isn't about genetics versus work ethic. It's about control. Not control of weights. Not control of diet. Control of yourself. Your mind. Your emotions. Your energy. When everyone around you is panicking, your calm becomes your weapon. When everyone is pumping desperately, your stillness becomes intimidating. When everyone needs to prove themselves, your quiet confidence proves everything. The pump room that night taught a truth that every champion knows. The real competition isn't with your opponent. It's with yourself. Master yourself, and you've already won. Lose yourself, and it doesn't matter how good your genetics are. Who in your life is like Sergio? Strong, talented, genetically gifted, trying to intimidate you with what they have. And more importantly, are you panicking? Are you trying to force yourself to be something you're not? Are you pumping desperately, hoping to look bigger than you are? Or are you calm, centered, confident in what you actually have instead of what you wish you had? Because 8 minutes of calm beat a lifetime of genetics. Arnold proved it. In a pump room in Pretoria. In 1975, when he brought the one thing no one else thought to bring. Silence, stillness, certainty. And it won the war before the battle even started.